All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to watch another video nasty. This one's called Contamination. Let's check it out. Our movie starts with an empty cargo ship heading toward New York City.
There's not a soul in sight. Really weird.
That's right, the Caribbean lady. Tug caught up with her in the Straits. Put a man on her and he shut down the engines.
The captain, the crew?
We'll find the body on board.
Judging by his uniform, that's our friend Mendez, the captain.
Yeah, he hasn't been dead for... Yeah, but not because of the bomb. It's more like he exploded from inside. Look at his stomach, his chest. It's as if some force inside...
Find this like pulsating, glowing egg-like thing on the board. Promptly explodes.
Have all decontamination procedures been completed?
Another 5 minutes, ma'am. Colonel, he's undergone all the necessary preliminaries. At this point, he shouldn't have any abnormal...
I don't know what kind of organism we're dealing with, but whatever substance there is in these eggs will be neutralized by deep freezing.
But is it an egg?
This is not an egg.
Guess not.
But an intensive culture of unknown bacteria. Pathogenous perhaps, but definitely deadly.
Artificial?
I still don't know.
All we have to do is wait.
So they're going to try and experiment on this rat. They injected it with some goo that was inside of it. Well, you see what happened. But what are they? What do they plan to do with these things?
Intuition. I think they plan to put them in the sewers.
Sewers?
Yes, sewers. They're just as warm and damp and...
Apparently the ship wasn't supposed to unload until the following night, so now they're going to try to find out who was supposed to come meet that ship. And a shootout occurs. That green stuff is dangerous if it gets on you, though. If it touches you...
Of the eggs in question have structures based on silicon, whereas all Earth organisms have cells that are based on carbon.
On it. Don't you remember? The Mars mission. Hubbard, the English astronaut in the international project which first investigated the red planet, came back to Earth a little crazy.
So they find the survivor of this Martian mission.
These are your drawings. This is what you claimed you saw on Mars. Right? Them by chance. And burned them. But how many of them are left? Where? Exactly what they are, we don't know. Hubbard, you're the only one who can help us.
Heard a noise.
They showed him pictures of the eggs, which he recognized.
Something ominous, and it radiated a light. As it moved towards us,
Too bad.
So whatever it is, they have help on Earth.
Well, what do you know? My
The bad
old friend
guys.
Hubbard, the last survivor of the Mars expedition.
You fly over the area tomorrow morning. Iris and I will inspect the coffee factory.
They tracked him down to some
Don't take
coffee
anything.
factory in South
Remember,
America.
we're dealing with something from beyond our planet.
A woman came out of the shower and somebody placed an egg.
Oh my God.
The guys who put it in there jimmied the door so she couldn't get out. But before it explodes, she's rescued.
What's wrong?
the egg.
The good guys go to the coffee factory to pose as coffee purchasers.
Oh, yes. We would like to buy a large amount of your coffee.
But they're discovered, or their identities are discovered.
Now it's clear who cultivates those eggs. It's you, isn't it? Yes.
So guess what the creature is?
To the Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Are being picked right now.
The egg factory.
Everything will be ready in a few days. Then the eggs will be shipped, sent around the whole world. There won't be any mistakes this time.
So who is the master?
He grew out of a tiny seed that I brought back from Mars.
That must be the Cyclops.
He eats the eggs.
Hubbard.
So you know who I am. And you also know that I've got nothing to lose. Now, where do you incubate those eggs?
To defeat the Cyclops. When it's all said and done, there ain't much left of Tony. Shoes and all.
He's a spy! Kill him! Oh.
flashbacks to Mars. Our mean bad guy there gets a bunch of ooze on him, and we know what that does.
Matt, he was just an extension of that monster. Completely under its power from the moment that they first met one another in that Martian.
Just when you think everything's been wrapped up, the Cyclops is destroyed, the eggs have been destroyed, but nobody checked the garbage. All right, let's talk about Contamination. This was a Section 2 video nasty. It wasn't actually prosecuted, but it could have been seized and whatever else. But it's a 1980 film. I think it's an Italian film. It stars nobody in particular. No nudity in this movie, but there is a fair amount of gore in it. And in fact, I'm not exactly sure if there was enough gore to be considered a video nasty, but nonetheless, it was. So what we got here is a movie where there's these like eggs that are on board this big cargo ship that's going to New York City. Now, nobody's on board this ship. The ship is just going by itself. So they jump on the ship to figure out what's going on. They find the body of the captain, it looks like he's exploded from the inside out. He's the only body they find, but they find a bunch of these like egg-like things that are pulsating. They're green. It turns out if these things explode and get on you, this green acid comes out and burns you. It could also, if it gets in you, can make you explode as well. So they got to watch out for these things. Turns out they do some investigating. They're trying to figure out what became of these things, or how these came about, and they trace it down to some previous lunar mission to Mars, or space mission to Mars. And one person came back from Mars. I guess there was some sort of incident up there, and the guy, they thought he was crazy, but it turns out he'd found a cave full of these things before. Nobody really believed him. So there's almost like an alien type thing here going on, like the movie Alien. Then they trace these egg things to some coffee plantation or coffee processing place in South America somewhere. So they go down there to try to pose as coffee buyers to see if they can find out anything, and they immediately get caught by the bad guys. And it's never really explained why these bad guys are here or doing what they're doing. But apparently if you let these eggs go in the sewers of New York City, it'll explode the entire town. Everybody will die. And apparently, like the bad guy says, we're just here to grow and expand and get big. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but we're later introduced to this thing called the Cyclops. They call him the Master. He's this weird-looking giant creature with one eye, this big yellow eye. He looks like the ending boss of some sort of sci-fi Nintendo game from the late 80s. And he's like making these eggs, incubating them. Again, I'm not sure if they're really looking for world domination here or what, but anyway, with the help of this astronaut who came back from that Mars mission, they're able to kill the Cyclops and kill all the bad guys. And you think the movie's over, but then the last scene in the film, we see some garbage bags on the streets of New York City, and there's some eggs inside of them, and one of them explodes. And apparently that's supposed to get an... It's just the movie freeze framing ends there, but we're led to believe this stuff's going to get all over the place, and the nightmare continues. So that is Contamination. Never heard of this film before. Didn't know anything about it. I don't recall seeing this on VHS. It may have been released. It probably was, actually. I just wasn't any of my video stores that I frequented in the 80s and 90s, so never saw this movie. I only have it now because it's a video nasty. I'm trying to collect them all. In fact, this was the last one I needed. With this movie here, Contamination, I now have every single video nasty that exists. If you look on the Wikipedia on the page about video nasties, they talk about the section 1, 2, and 3, and a few other stragglers that were banned at one point or another. There's like, I don't know, 153, maybe it's 170 movies or something like that. Several of them aren't even available on disc, or at least not in a legit form. But this was the last one I needed, and I got this from Arrow. Arrow put this out with a DVD Blu-ray combination. Looks beautiful. It's got a soundtrack by the band Goblin, which did a lot of those Italian movies and stuff like Demons. Good stuff. The soundtrack is fantastic. It's better than the film itself. The film is, it's okay. No nudity in this movie, like I said, but there is plenty of gore, a lot of exploding stuff. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, it ain't bad. 95 minutes, it's a pretty quick watch. So it's decent. Just, I don't think I really have a desire to watch it again, but maybe I will. So there you go. It's Contamination. Curious what you think. I'll leave a link to it on Amazon down below. Click it if you want to buy it. Leave some comments and know what you think about it. It's called Contamination, and watch it. Bye.
Video nasty.